right, welcome, my beautiful people. For this weekend review, I'm going to do something a little bit different because we just got I'm going to see if somebody hops on before I get into what I'm about to share. Because Virgin Cruises, if you're not familiar with Virgin Cruises, for me is one of the top line cruises out there. But before I go on there, Lorena, are we live on Instagram?
Let me see. Actually,
Because it says on my Instagram. It looks, but I don't see it light up on the dashboard here.
yeah, no. It's live in Facebook.
And it says here that somebody has joined on Instagram. Claudia joined. Hi, Claudia. So it looks like we are live on Instagram, but I don't know why it's not coming up in the chat. So let me see if I can fix this real quick. Comments. See if you can see it in the comments, Lorena. And I'm not showing the counter live, but it's weird. It's on my Instagram. Let me see. You are live on Instagram. Okay. Anyway, let me just share. Let's go into what I wanted to share. And right now, Virgin Cruises has a huge sale. Now, if you've never been on a cruise, this is one of the cruises I highly recommend because they're usually between 3 and 5 days. They do have an 11-day that's on sale, but let me go ahead and connect this real quick so you can see what I'm referring to. So you have 2 days left. 2 days left for this sale. And the sale is the following. It is a $99 per night sale. Now, what's included in that $99 per night? You get everything included. Your food, your internet, which most cruise lines are not going to give you that for free. You're going to have your drink package included, which again, most cruise lines will charge you extra for that. So where can you go and when can you go? Here's some of the itineraries, right? You have a 5-night on the Violet Lily, and I'm gonna show you the cruise ship in a second. But you have a 5-night cruise that it's referred to as the Dominican Days, and it ships out of Miami. It goes to Puerto Plata. It goes to Beach Club at Bimini, and then it comes back to Miami. Now, the sailing dates for those is going to be either Friday, November 22nd through the 27th, or January 3rd to January 8th. The next one is going to be the Riviera Maya cruise, which leaves out of Miami, goes to Cozumel, goes to Bimini again, and comes back to Miami. Now, here you can sail on either December 1st through the 6th or January 12th through the 17th. The next, which is my favorite, now this is the longer one. It's an 11-night cruise, and this one ships out of San Juan, Puerto Rico, and it goes to Cartagena, Colombia. It goes to Curacao. It goes to Aruba. It goes to, and then it comes back to San Juan. This is an 11-day cruise, but again, all for $99. Now, that's for a standard cabin. If you want to upgrade, so for example, I will be taking the Dominican one, the Dominican cruise, and I'm going to be upgrading to one of their suites. Now, you can get the suites for a little under $600 for this 5-night cruise. People, that's unheard of. Unheard of. To get a suite for under $600. So I highly recommend if you want to take advantage of that, that you DM me so I can send you the information. But let me show you. Let me actually show you the ship that you will be on, so you can see it real quick. Let me get on here. Real.
Sailing on Virgin Voyages is an escape from the ordinary, both ordinary life and ordinary vacations. Whether it's your first time at sea or you've cruised many times, when you step on board Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady, you'll soon find a carefree, fun, and unique vacation experience. Virgin Voyages offers you a great vacation value with their included offerings. So your Wi-Fi, all restaurants, gratuities, group workouts, and non-alcoholic beverages are included in your cruise fare. Scarlet Lady is inspired by the most elegant and stunning yachts on the seas today. Modern, airy spaces around every turn make it easy to see why Scarlet Lady was chosen as the best new cruise ship. Virgin Voyages is currently the only adults-only cruise line and has been designed with that in mind. From entertainment to cuisine, if you're looking for a trendy, fun-filled, inclusive vacation atmosphere, then this ship is for you. If you're a foodie looking to enjoy a fabulous meal, Scarlet Lady has over 20 options to tempt your taste buds. Virgin Voyages has no traditional main dining room, so all restaurants have a specialty dining ambiance. And instead of a traditional buffet, the galley offers you a casual food market experience with sit-down service. Each restaurant features its own executive chef who takes great care in crafting the perfect dining experience. And there's many tasty dining options on board, from elevated Italian and Mexican to sophisticated steak and seafood. And for a lively dining experience, visit Gunbae, the first Korean barbecue at sea. Onboard entertainment is a one-of-a-kind, modern, and immersive experience. From trying your luck in the casino to larger-than-life musical and dance performances, you'll have something to keep you entertained day and night. Thirsty? Visit one of the master mixologists to enjoy a cocktail at one of Scarlet Lady's exciting bars and lounges. Stop by the Loose Cannon, inspired by nautical seaside England. Grab a beer on tap at the Draft House, or enjoy champagne and caviar at the Sip Lounge for a truly luxurious evening. Wellness is part of the Virgin Voyages experience. Meet up for sunrise yoga, work up a sweat at the Build and Balance gym, or take a complimentary fitness class. Here you can align your chakras with a meditation course or treat yourself at the ship's salon. On Scarlet Lady, Redemption Spa gives you an unparalleled opportunity for some self-care. Whether it's a massage, a seaweed wrap, or relaxing in the sauna with a view. Still, you'll find there's no better way to reach true wellness than with the refreshing sea breeze. Scarlet Lady's pools and sun deck are designed with modern simplicity and elegant luxury in harmony with one another. Plus, every sea terrace cabin features its own private hammock where you can sway with the waves and look out at endless ocean views. Your cabin on Scarlet Lady is designed for the modern traveler. Spacious, comfortable, and tech-friendly. Use your tablet to control features such as mood-matching lights and to order room service so you can enjoy coffee on your private sea terrace. If you are staying at a suite cabin, you'll enjoy VIP treatment and breathtaking accommodations. Suites are known as rockstar quarters, which provide exclusive perks such as access to Richard's Retreat, your own private lounge. If you're ready for the vacation of a lifetime, then you're ready for Virgin Voyages. We're excited to help you plan your cruise so you can step on board Scarlet Lady ready to take in all the action. Contact your travel advisor.
All right, guys. So as you can see, it is a beautiful ship. And I can tell you from personal experience, because I've been on this particular cruise, it is really unlike no other cruise. Because if you've been on Carnival, if you've been on Royal Caribbean, the Virgin cruises are really something completely different that you're used to. Now, it's an adult-only cruise. So if you got kids and you need to travel with your kids, unfortunately, this cruise line isn't for you. And you have to understand that it is also a little bit more risque, meaning the shows are going to be a little bit more adult orientated. So if that type of person that is not into that, then it may not be for you. But I am telling you that it's a phenomenal experience, and you're not going to beat the prices. Here's the other bonus. Depending on which sailing that you pick, we can throw in some extra. For example, depending on where you're coming from, we can throw in a free stay at one of our properties in Miami. So let me wrap this up. Right now, if you book one of these Virgin cruises that I mentioned, it starts at $99 a night. You can get a free stay in Miami, pre-sailing. So the sail dates on, let's say if you're going to sail on Friday, you can get in here on Thursday, stay a day, enjoy Miami before cruising out on Friday. That's what's available. Now, let's get back. If you have any questions on that, do me a favor, just DM me Virgin Cruises or Cruises, period. And then I'll send you more information on this particular deal. Now, let's get into our week, this past week. And before I get into the question, I want to talk about what we did this past week. So one of the things that I'm excited about is that we did an interview with one of the managers. I don't really think he calls himself a manager, but the caretaker of Smithmore Castle. Now, if you're not familiar with Smithmore Castle, I highly recommend you Google Smithmore Castle. But it is a unique experience located in Spruce Pine, North Carolina. Now, they have been affected by the Hurricane Helene, right? And I interview him so he can share his experience of what it felt like to go through that storm, what steps that they're currently taking to restore the property, and some of the lessons that he learned during the storm. Extremely. All I can say is this: if you listen when we air it, if you watch the full podcast, you're going to do two things. I firmly believe, number one, you're going to be inspired by their story. And then number two, if you are a short-term rental operator, in fact, if you are any business owner, you're going to learn and probably get some valuable lessons as to what it takes to go through a pre-storm, during the storm, and post-storm actions that you as an operator should be taking when a natural disaster happens in your area, right? So be on the lookout for that podcast, and it's going to air next week. I will be posting when, but put it out. But that was very exciting what we did this past week. In addition to that, we spent a lot of time in my vineyard in Georgia. We also were affected by the hurricane. We had luckily not as much damage as they observed in or experienced in North Carolina, but we did get substantial damage. I would say probably 20% of our trees were knocked down. We lost some structures like our garden. Our greenhouse. We lost that structure. We lost a barn. Our pole barn, the roof was destroyed. But so we spent a lot of time there this past week. I'm trying to organize the recovery team. Mainly, it's going to be a lot of cleanup, which is what they're doing now, and then just fixing the stuff that got damaged. But let's get into this week's question. So today, let me see if I can find where the question is. All right, so today's question was, Fernanda, can you tell us the importance and the advantages of a digital guidebook for short-term rental properties? And people, I can't tell you how important it is to have a digital guidebook in today's day and age, right? So I firmly believe that a digital guidebook is critical because it's going to provide a smooth, enjoyable experience for your guests. Okay. I've been harping on this, especially in the last 6 months, and you've been seeing a shift in our focus. Hence why we changed and we are rebranding the company, because although we are a property management company that focuses on short-term rental, I firmly believe that our true customer is the guest, right? Because it doesn't matter if I'm managing, one property or 1,000 properties. If I don't have a guest to put in that property, then I don't have a business, right? So we are really, really focusing on the guest, especially in today's competitive environment. And one of the ways that we want to cater and give that guest a better guest experience is through our digital guidebook. So let's get into, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why having a digital guidebook is going to be crucial for that guest experience, right? So number 1 is that guest experience. With a digital guidebook, as I already mentioned, you're going to enhance that guest experience by doing the following. Number 1, it's going to allow that guest, before they even come to the property, to see videos of the property, because we have walkthrough videos. I'm going to, in a few minutes, show you or give you an example of one of our digital guidebooks, right? But with that digital guidebook, they're going to have all the information they need right in one spot. They don't have to go through emails, because oftentimes people, and as a side note, and this is my experience, a lot of you guys that book short-term rentals use an email that I refer to as a junk email or throwaway email. People, don't do that, because that's how most ghosts communicate with you. That's how you're going to get information from the property through that email that you use to book that property, right? Getting back on track here, right? So with this digital guidebook, you don't have to go to that email. Now you can just click on the link that we're going to provide you for that guidebook, and you're going to have everything from your check-in instructions, from how to use the appliances in the property. You're going to have information on bars, restaurants, everything you're going to need. It's going to be in that digital guidebook. It is truly an easy way and a convenient way to make guests feel welcome and valued. This is critical. That's the number 1 reason why I highly recommend a digital guidebook. Now, if you're a host, one of the reasons why I recommend you get the digital guidebook, because it's going to make your life easier. It's going to reduce the workload that you have per booking, right? As a property manager, my besides keeping the property well maintained, keeping the property clean, all the stuff that a property manager needs to do. Besides that is our team's primary focus. But the second focus, again, shifting gears, right? We have the property managers that focuses on the property. We also have what's called guest relations in our staff. Their primary focus is the guest. So the digital guidebook alleviates, I can take some of my staffing that handles the property and shift them over to guest relations, because now with that digital guidebook, we're not having the volume of intake calls that we normally get with questions like, what's the nearest restaurant? Where's the nearest airport? How do I use the stove? How do I use the washing machine? How do I use the coffee machine? We can eliminate a lot of these questions through that digital guidebook. So fundamentally important. You can also add all your frequently asked questions in that digital guidebook. Again, it's just going to save you a lot of time when you have a digital guidebook. Next, the third reason and advantage why you should have a digital guidebook is because it's going to showcase not only your property, but all your local recommendations. You're going to see in our digital guidebook what I mean by that in a second, but it's a real nice personal touch. Now, most hosts are used to having and creating a manual guidebook, right? But here's the problem with manual guidebooks. They oftentimes they get misplaced they get misplaced, they get destroyed by guests, and it's added work for you because you have to constantly update that. If you get a digital guidebook like ours, it is connected to Yelp, and Yelp is going to do all the updates for you. It's going to give you other reviews. It's going to give you stuff that you can't do in a manual guidebook. So that's a huge advantage, people. The next step that I'm going to refer to is going to be to facilitate real-time updates. Prime example was recently with the hurricanes, right? We've had 2 hurricane warnings back to back. We were able to communicate with our guests, or let me backtrack. Our guests were able to get real-time updates on what's happening with the storm because it's our digital guidebook is connected to our local news stations, right? So they're getting real-time information. And it alleviates my staff from having to send out emails related to the hurricane. In addition, we have our process in our processes and procedures. There's certain steps that we need to take when we have a warning and when we have an advisory of a natural disaster coming, like a hurricane, and then what processes to take. Now, with the digital guidebook, for us, it's really simple because it's just the press of a button, and all that goes out to our guests and future guests that are planning to come during that time. What they need to know, what they need to be aware of, etc. Really, really important is that communication with that guest, and with your digital guidebook, it's in real time. The last thing I want to talk about, and it's mainly for those that are concerned with the environment, is that a digital guidebook is not only eco-friendly, but it's really cost-effective, right? And with the digital guidebook, unlike with a manual guidebook, where you have to be printing papers, because again, they're going to get dirty, they're going to get ripped, stuff's going to be missing from it. You're constantly have to be putting stuff in it. You don't have to do that with a digital guidebook. So that's that added bonus. So let's wrap it up. In terms of the guidebook, right? For me, the digital guidebook is more than just a list of my rules and directions. It's really a way to, like I mentioned before, to enhance that guest experience, to reduce the workload for my staff, to share some of the best areas provided in real time. So now let me show you what that is. Give me a second to set this up, because I need to connect to my guidebook so you can see what I'm referring to. All right. Share. All right, so now this is the back office of the digital guidebook. This is in the back end, right? But as I mentioned, let me see if I can actually play with this a little bit more. So we can actually kind of go live with it so you can see what I'm referring to. So these are a digital guidebook. Again, it's really easy. All you have to do is click on this and it'll share the guidebook. You want to view the guidebook. Excuse me, we're going to click on this. And I'm sorry, my Wi-Fi is a little slow. So here's the guidebook. This is the actual property itself, right? It has who we are, has our contact information, has our email. It has, that welcome email or that welcome message thanking them for booking. It gives us, if we click on the arrival time, check-in time is after 4 p.m. It really gives them everything they need, parking. For us, here's some of our upsells. But here's the cool part, right? So here's the map, shows you where the property is. Let's go over here. So it gives you the house manual, but let's talk about places to eat, right? It gives the guests some of our recommendations. Now, if you follow the channel, I've always mentioned the following. I highly recommend that if you want to level up your business and create some extra revenue for you, is that you go to your favorite restaurants and try to negotiate a deal with them saying, hey, can you give our guests a 10% discount if we send them your way? Again, you're adding and giving your guests additional value because there's going to be a lot of restaurants that are going to say, yes, send people our way and we'll give them a discount if they say they're coming from you. Again, the goal is always to enhance that guest experience. Now, here's the other one, which is our activities. Now, with our activities, I am as you know, we are a travel agency as well. We're also an affiliate with Viator. Viator is an area where you can book stuff. So again, here's a way to give your guests what things to do and why you're recommending them. Like here, this is the Seminole Hard Rock and Casino, which I'm a big fan of. It talks about what it is. Here's some of the sporting and fishing stuff that they can do, theaters, all this stuff. But here's the beauty about it. If they click on it, they can book tickets, they can make reservations, but you get the credit, meaning you're going to get a commission from when it gets books from your digital guidebook. Plus, your guest is going to get discounts from these businesses, right? Again, it's a win-win. It's a win for the guests because they can do everything on the digital guidebook, and it's a win for you because you're enhancing that guest experience, which is in turn is going to give you a better review, which we need in this industry, and you can earn extra money. Anyway, hope that was useful. If you want to know more about digital guidebooks and want to have a conversation with me, then just buy me a coffee and we can discuss it. Now, if you, in terms of my digital guidebook art that we have here, again, it's through Hostfully. We have an affiliate code down below. If you want to learn more about that, go ahead and click that below. But again, for me, it's I like to interact with the people that are my subscribers and people that are actually watching us. So if you want to learn more, just do me a favor, just hit me up and we can have that conversation. Okay, so that takes care of that in terms of the digital guidebook. Now let's get into our analytics. I'm going to share my screen in a second in terms of this past week. In fact, I'm going to show you, since we're almost at the end of the month, I'm going to show you the analytics for the entire month because next week in review, when is next week? I don't even know the time. I'm correct. The next week is, we're going to be into, let me check my calendar real quick. I'm sorry. Today's Monday. Yeah, I am correct. So I'm going to show you the whole month. So let me share this because it is the last week in review for the month of October. All right. Now, I'm just going to start up right off the bat with our occupancy rate, right? As you guys know, my goal every month is to hit that 75% or greater occupancy rate. Didn't hit it this month. We're not there. I'm sorry. I got to get back to where I was. Okay. Didn't hit it this month. We were at 67%. But if you recall from my weekend review of week one, and this is going to go back to the book lead time. When we entered the month of October, our occupancy rate at that time was only 23%. So through our marketing efforts, we were able to jump all the way up to 67%, right? It is a 13% increase from last month. Now, again, if you are a loyal follower, you know that for most of the US, the slow, not just the US, also in Europe, I mentioned this before, the slow season for us it starts in September, October, and part of November, which is our slowest month of the year. But in comparison to years past, this September was our worst. This October, we were almost equal to last year, although last year we did hit our 75% occupancy rate. So we fell short from last year. But just to give you an idea, and so that you understand how competitive the market is, right? It is super competitive today. You really, really, really need to step up your game if you want to be successful in the short-term rental industry today. Or like I've always said, highly recommend if this is not your primary focus, meaning if you are doing this as a side hustle and you're managing for other people, or you have a property that you need to maximize the revenue, stop doing it as a side hustle. Focus on your primary job and hire a company like ours, preferably us, so that we can help you maximize your revenue, because I'm telling you, it is difficult, people. But anyways, getting back to the numbers. Our revenue for the month, again, we still have a few days left, but for the month, we made $143.6 thousand. We had 1,100 nights booked. Again, here's the increases from September. It's a 20% increase in revenue, an 8.6% increase in bookings, and our average nightly daily rate is $126, up by 10%, but our RevPAR is up by 26%. Now, if you look at the revenue sources, where our revenue is coming from, Airbnb, again, took the top spot at $71,000, so 1.5. Booking is at 28.1. We're at 25. Verbal is at 14, and then all others is at 4.4. When you look at properties, Miami is at the RevPAR for Miami is at 239, 200 for Oakland Park. Miami is at 171, Olive 160, and all others at 82. So, again, November, we're looking to see, I'm hoping, well, actually, let me show you what we're looking at in November. So again, so that you can see what I'm referring to in terms of our booking lead time. And this is going to be a good test, right? We're going to see where we are entering November, and then we'll see where we finish at the end of November. I anticipate November being a good month for us. We're really spending a lot of marketing dollars to get people here in November. The fall season is here, and we really anticipate that there's going to be a lot of people looking to take some time off, especially if you've been bombarded by all the campaign ads for this election, and it's just crazy. So here's where we are entering November. We're at 43% occupancy rate, much better than we were entering October, as I mentioned, we entered October at 23%. So we're at 43%. So I anticipate, and here's my goal. I want you to hold me accountable. I want you to make sure that you connect at the end of next month. See if we don't get up to at least 80% occupancy rate for the month of October. Anyway, my beautiful people, hope this information was useful. If it was, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Follow me on Instagram. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.